the killer air pollution here in the national capital. It's a day after Diwali and Delhi has turned virtually into a gas chamber, something that we see year after year. This time the situation is slightly better because of favorable weather conditions, but the firecracker ban has certainly gone up in the smoke. What we witnessed last night was yet another failure on the part of the police, on the part of the state government, to implement the firecracker ban on the ground successfully. Our right to breathe has been violated yet again, with the PM 2.5, the cancer-causing micropollutant, in emergency levels, to say the least, here in the national capital, and that's only going to worsen in the days to come. Let me introduce my panel this evening. Bhavesh Sharma, Senior Manager, Senior Program Manager, WRI India, is with us. Also, Anumita Roy Chaudhary, Executive Editor, Executive Director, I beg your pardon, CSE, is also with us. Dr. Anil K. Gupta, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Also, Advocate Anmol Pawar of the Aam Aadmi Party. Anmol Pawar, let me begin with you. So, yet another year, the firecracker ban has gone up in the smoke. Whether it was the sale, storage, or manufacturing of the firecrackers or the bursting of crackers, the authorities have clearly failed to crack the whip.
Vedanji, it was anticipated that the AQI levels would exceed 400 after Diwali. However, we thank the people of Delhi for their efforts, due to which the AQI is below 400 today. But what is more troubling is that the BJP people were openly urging the citizens of Delhi to flout the directions of the Honorable Supreme Court, which imposed the ban on firecrackers in the whole Delhi NCR region, considering the fact that the elderly and the citizens they are facing this pollution problem, and there are acute respiratory problems. So, I mean, this was very disturbing that the BJP people were encouraging.
Anmol, you're forcing me to interrupt you again, like I did last time. I don't wish to do it, but making this into a political issue, won't do anything. Given the fact that while you of course say that the BJP, there are some members perhaps of the IT cell, etc., who might be encouraging people to burst firecrackers, but that's not the issue at hand. The larger firecracker ban has not worked. It has failed year after year in Delhi. And these are all emergency measures, as I told you last time as well, and they do not work. We have seen it year after year. We need to target pollution at the source level.
Enforcement certainly has been a challenge, and that is what even the Honorable Supreme Court has time and again, expressed their concern that the agencies, particularly the Delhi police, who is mainly responsible to work in coordination with the DPCC, Delhi Pollution Control Board. So they have not been able to enforce these regulations. So it have always turned futile, even in the past, because we need a collective approach at this time.
Why do you bank on such measures? If you are saying that these have turned futile in the past few years, then why do you bank on measures like a firecracker ban, on anti-smog guns, on this water campaign that you have started? These do nothing. I mean, these are just these are merely a sham, to say the least.
No, see, the Honorable Supreme Court has considered all the aspects, and as a law-abiding citizen, the state government and we as residents are responsible to abide by the directions of the Honorable Supreme Court. They have considered the fact that the pollution levels spiked just a day after Diwali to a very high level. And even the Central Pollution Control Board, their own central agency data shows a consistent spike in the pollution's level day after Diwali. So we need to take every possible measure. We can't be selective in our approach.
But before that, Anmol Pawar, if we can have that graphics up showing the PM 2.5 levels and what it means. It almost means that you are smoking 20 cigarettes a day. And that in a sense shows you, if you can go slightly bigger on that graphic, to show you that it's a consistent rise. It's not as if it's just a day after Diwali that the PM 2.5 has suddenly spiked. If you see, on October 30th, the PM 2.5 levels were almost 20 to 30 times the safe limit set by the World Health Organization. It was almost like you were smoking 10 cigarettes a day still. So it's a fallacy that PM 2.5 comes into the air after Diwali. The PM 2.5 is always there in Delhi air. It just spikes a day after Diwali. So again, that argument is a flawed one, that it's only after Diwali that this happens. But Dr. Anil Gupta, one thing that Anmol Pawar said that does merit a response from you is that there has to be some level of cooperation between the Lieutenant Governor, the central government and the state government. These kind of theatrics that we saw before the pollution season or before Diwali with the Delhi BJP chief taking a dip in the Yamuna and then sort of saying that he has been admitted to the hospital. I mean, this does no good to the people of Delhi. There has to be consistent cooperation between the state and the center on this.
Yeah, Vedant, good evening to you and all the viewers. See, we have been mentioning this point that for last 10 years, the Aam Aadmi Party government has not anything to control the source of the pollution. If you see the AQI, it remains for last 1 week, it remains in the range of 400 like that. See, last week, the Honorable Supreme Court has given two decisions. One is about the C&D waste. The Delhi generate roughly 11,000 tons of C&D waste regularly. As per the government record, Delhi government record, for last several years, they are not able to treat 3,100 tons of C&D waste, which is lying on the roads, which is lying on the vacant plot, which generates this PM 2.510. And last week, Honorable Supreme Court has scolded the Delhi government, why you are not taking care of this. Even in another decision, the Honorable Supreme Court has reprimanded the Punjab government and the Haryana for not taking care of this stubble burning. In this particular season, more than 2,000 incidents of stubble burning has been reported by the Punjab government. Even the width area of the stubble burning has increased. Roughly 18.5 lakhs of the acre area has been affected. And the smoke from the stubble burning reached Delhi in few days, and that gets area. Every year, this season, there was rain for 3-4 months, so the season was better, the winds were better, but normally, for last 10 years in the winter, the same problem is there. Delhi has a length of 28,000 roughly kilometers of length.
But what about lack of cooperation from the center?
I'm mentioning.
That has been the charge against you.
I'm replying.
Hear me out, Mr. Gupta. The charge against the central government has been that you have not incentivized farmers enough, because you brought up stubble burning. In terms of getting them access to balers, seeders, alternative crops, and that, you have not incentivized them to, in a sense, switch over to alternatives and away from stubble burning.
Last year, the central government has allotted 3,330 crores for stubble management. 1.5 lakhs of the machines are lying idle in the Punjab government godowns. You can go and check it. For Delhi, under National Clean Air Program, roughly 33 crores were allotted to Delhi.
Yes.
What Delhi spent?
Roughly 10.7%. But more needs to be done, because this entire biodecomposer plan has clearly not worked on the ground. I'm running out of time. Dr. Anamita Roy Chaudhary, come in on this point, because as we have discussed multiple times over, that we need to target pollution at the source level. There needs to be round-the-year attention given to pollution. These emergency measures won't work. And things like a firecracker ban can easily be flouted. So we cannot rely solely on these emergency measures.
Absolutely, Vedant. And the point to be made here is that firecracker is an episodic pollution that happens on that particular day.
Exactly.
But we have to recognize that because we have already saturated our airshed so much with pollution that there is no space left for even those few hours of cracker bursting, which causes huge amount of toxic exposure and illness. Now, having said that, a very important message that is coming from the October pollution that we have studied, that even on those days when the contribution of stubble burning to Delhi's air quality has been less than 1 to 3%, even when you did not have crackers, the air quality of Delhi had turned poor and very poor even then.
Absolutely.
And that vindicates what you have just said, that this is not about few days now. It is about round-the-year action to control emissions from the real sources on ground. And these are industry, vehicles, the waste burning, construction, use of solid fuels for cooking, and that is happening across the region. And therefore, the local air pollution that we are talking about today, we need very strong measures to ensure that there is a time bound reduction. So, therefore, we do not want to hear about another clean air action plan. This
Exactly.
time, we want to know what is the action taken report, how governments have identified the key gaps in implementation, and where is the funding, strategy, resources, and the strategy to address that. If in Delhi today, vehicles have already are contributing more than half of the pollution,
I think that's a
then
very
where is the
important point you're
strategy to
making,
scale
Dr.
up
Roy
public
Chaudhary, given the
transport?
fact that accountability needs to be fixed. Coming up with winter action plans year after year won't do any good. But Bhavesh Sharma, the last word to you, because while we talk about accountability and larger awareness amongst people as well, because this really has to become a people's movement if we want to clean up the national capital's air. There has to be more awareness among the people also. It's not just about bursting or not bursting firecrackers. It's about, making healthier choices in terms of switching to public transport. As Ms. Roy Chaudhary pointed out, that vehicles make up for almost 50% of Delhi's air pollution. So these are the kind of things that we need to be thinking about. Long-term measures, sustainable measures, and awareness at a larger level.
No, absolutely, Vedant. I mean, awareness is one of the key points that needs to be taken as priority for Delhi NCR, since it comes in a airshed level. And the second thing is that while we are talking about accountability, we also need to understand the measures that we are taking, the impact that these measures are creating on ground, whether they are useful or not. That also we need to identify. The second is, yes, absolutely, we need to, augment our public transport system, whether it's buses, metro system, or anything else, because, burden on private vehicles would later on ultimately would lead to higher emissions that would, understandably lead to more air pollution in the region. So absolutely agreeing on that part with Anumita and with you. And, it's not only public transport, but we need to understand there are other sectors, there are other activities that are contributing to air pollution in Delhi NCR. It's not just Delhi, there are, surrounding cities which are also impacted by air pollution.
Sure.
So we need to take overall measures. It's not just, one measure, but everywhere.
Absolutely, and then there seems to be a complete lack of understanding as well. 30 seconds, you want to make a point, Anmol Pawar? Quickly, 30 seconds.
Vedant, environment knows no boundaries, and we have seen that the adjoining states, we are not here to cast blame on BJP or any other party. But the fact is that the central government has not even bothered to call a meeting in the past 2 years. In fact, their own central agency, CAQM, they admitted before the Honorable Supreme Court that they have not complied with the directions. They have not even issued a single direction.
I'm completely running out of time, but just to put some perspective there, even your government even your government held the first pollution meeting just 20 days before the winter action plan was announced. So who is to blame really? But thanks very much all for joining us.